Alex stared at the flickering fluorescent light above the cubicle, each buzz a stark reminder of the dead-end job that was slowly suffocating their spirit. The stale air hung heavy, much like the weight of financial stress pressing down on Alex's shoulders. Every month was a brutal dance with bills, a desperate scramble to stretch meager earnings, leaving little room for anything else. At home, the tension was a palpable third presence, straining the once vibrant connection with their partner. Laughter had grown scarce, replaced by hushed anxieties about rent, groceries, and the ever-present worry of providing for their child. A deep, aching yearning for something more, something better, gnawed at Alex's core, a silent scream for an escape from this relentless cycle of barely making it. Then, a beacon in the digital darkness. An advertisement popped up, vibrant and impossibly alluring. The 1,000-month strategy that works. Unlock your financial freedom. It featured Elias, an impeccably dressed figure, smiling confidently from a yacht, surrounded by testimonials of others who had supposedly achieved lavish lifestyles and immediate success. Alex's initial reaction was a practiced cynicism, a defense mechanism built from years of dashed hopes. Yet something about Elias's smooth delivery, the sheer audacity of the promise, chipped away at the skepticism. Slowly, doubt transformed into a fragile hope, then a burning conviction. This, Alex thought, could be the answer, the key to unlocking the life they so desperately craved. The decision was not made lightly. It meant draining the last vestiges of their savings, a buffer against unforeseen emergencies that now felt like an indulgence. When even that wasn't enough, Alex swallowed their pride and took out a small, high-interest loan, a gamble that sent shivers down their spine. Their partner's apprehension was clear, a series of cautious questions and gentle warnings about the risks. But Alex, fueled by an almost desperate faith, brushed them aside, an unwavering conviction hardening their resolve. Nights became a blur of frantic learning, sacrificing precious sleep to meticulously study Elias's modules, each lesson devoured with the intensity of someone starving for knowledge. Every spare moment was dedicated to mastering the strategy, the silent hum of the laptop a constant companion in the quiet hours. And then the first rewards. Small, almost insignificant gains at first, but enough to ignite a spark. $100 here, $200 there, each success a validation, a tangible proof that Elias wasn't a charlatan, that the strategy truly worked. Alex's confidence soared, the heavy burden lifting, replaced by a lightness of spirit. They shared the triumphs with their partner, whose initial skepticism slowly began to thaw, replaced by a cautious belief. Hope, once a distant dream, now felt within reach, tangible and real. The dream of a better life, of financial security, of providing for their child without constant worry, felt tantalizingly close. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. However, amidst the growing excitement, a faint flicker of unease began to surface. It was a subtle inconsistency within the strategy, a minor detail that didn't quite align, a question that Alex couldn't logically answer. When they timidly reached out to Elias for clarification, the response was surprisingly evasive, almost dismissive. A curt reply that left Alex feeling more confused than before. A fleeting moment of doubt, cold and sharp, pierced through the newfound confidence, but Alex quickly suppressed it, pushing the unsettling thought deep down. The desire for success, the intoxicating promise of prosperity, was too strong to allow such a minor quibble to derail their progress. What exactly was Elias hiding? And would Alex uncover the truth before it was too late? The air grew heavy once more, this time with a different kind of tension. The initial flicker of doubt, once easily dismissed, now began to smolder, fueled by an escalating demand from Elias. The strategy was evolving, requiring Alex to delve deeper into its intricate layers, each new level conveniently behind a paywall. Advanced modules, exclusive tools, premium insights. The justifications flowed smoothly from Elias, promising exponential returns for just a little more investment. Alex, already emotionally and financially invested, felt trapped, compelled to follow the path laid out before them. To stop now, after all the sacrifices, would be to admit defeat, to concede that the initial hope was a delusion. So, Alex borrowed again, a larger sum this time, the weight of the debt pressing down with increasing intensity. At home, the financial strain, once a quiet hum, now vibrated through every conversation, every shared glance. The partners' patience wore thin, their apprehension transforming into overt frustration, their warnings now tinged with a bitter, "I told you so." Despite the deepening financial hole and the growing tension at home, Alex pushed forward, doubling down on Elias's teachings. But the promised results, once tantalizingly within reach, began to recede like a mirage. The small, validating successes that had fueled Alex's initial optimism dried up completely. Instead, losses mounted, small at first, then alarmingly significant, chipping away at the borrowed capital. The carefully constructed dream began to unravel, thread by thread, revealing the stark, crushing reality beneath. Frustration gnawed at Alex's insides, a constant, churning despair that made sleep elusive and waking hours a torment. The once vibrant hope now lay shattered, replaced by a cold, hollow ache. The dream of freedom had morphed into a nightmare of mounting debt and dwindling prospects. The bitter truth, when it finally surfaced, hit Alex with the force of a physical blow. Late one night, desperately searching for answers, for any glimmer of a solution to the strategy's sudden failure, Alex stumbled upon an obscure online forum. The posts there spoke of Elias, not as a mentor, but as a predator. With each click, each new article, the sickening truth unspooled. Testimonials, once so convincing, were exposed as fabricated. The lavish lifestyles, the immediate successes, all meticulously crafted illusions. Elias's strategy was nothing more than a sophisticated pyramid scheme, a cleverly designed scam preying on the hopes of desperate individuals. The crushing realization that they had been duped, the profound depth of the betrayal, left Alex breathless, a wave of nausea washing over them. Every sacrifice, every late night, every strained conversation with their partner, it had all been for naught, a fool's errand orchestrated by a heartless swindler. A frantic, desperate energy seized Alex. They tried to contact Ilias to demand answers, to confront the architect of their ruin. Emails went unanswered. Phone calls led to disconnected lines or cold, automated responses. The silence was deafening, a stark confirmation of the fraud. The emotional breakdown was swift and brutal. Anger, white-hot and searing, mingled with a profound shame that burned brighter than any rage. Tears streamed down Alex's face, not just for the lost money, but for the shattered trust, the squandered hope, and the devastating impact on their family. The partner, witnessing Alex's raw despair, could only offer a strained comfort, the unspoken chasm of betrayal now wider than ever. Relationships, once strained, were now fractured, seemingly beyond repair. The child, sensing the shift in the household's atmosphere, watched with wide, questioning eyes, a silent witness to the family's unraveling. Just as despair threatened to consume Alex entirely, a faint glimmer of resistance sparked. Buried deep within the same online forums that had exposed Elias, Alex found others, fellow victims, sharing their stories of loss and betrayal. A shared sense of injustice resonated through their collective anger. Initial discussions began, timid at first, then gaining momentum, about potential legal action, about exposing Elias for the fraud he was. The thought of fighting back, of seeking justice, offered a fragile foothold in the quicksand of despair. It was a terrifying prospect, but the alternative, succumbing to the crushing weight of defeat, felt even worse. The question lingered, heavy in the air. Would Alex find the strength to rise from the ashes of this betrayal and fight for what was right? Or would the darkness finally claim them? The darkness, though pervasive, could not fully extinguish the ember of Alex's resolve. Fueled by a potent cocktail of anger, and a desperate longing for redemption, Alex made a solemn vow. Elias would not escape unpunished. This was no longer just about personal loss. It was about preventing countless others from falling prey to the same deceit. The path to justice began with reaching out, transforming abstract online connections into tangible alliances. Alex meticulously collaborated with the other victims, their collective outrage forming a formidable front. Together, they painstakingly gathered every piece of evidence, screenshots of Elias's misleading promises, detailed transaction histories, personal testimonies of financial ruin and emotional devastation. Each document, each story was a brick in the wall they were building against the fraudster. The arduous process of contacting authorities was fraught with challenges. Initial phone calls were met with skepticism, bureaucratic hurdles, and the weary dismissal often reserved for victims of online scams. Yet Alex persevered, driven by an unshakable conviction. They learned the language of legal proceedings, navigated complex reporting systems, and tirelessly presented their meticulously compiled case to anyone who would listen. The fight was exhausting, often disheartening, but the shared purpose with the other victims created an unbreakable bond, a collective strength that propelled them forward. Simultaneously, Alex embarked on an even more vital and delicate journey, rebuilding trust and mending the fractured relationships at home. There were no shortcuts, only raw honesty and painful admissions. Alex openly communicated with their partner, acknowledging every mistake, every misjudgment, every moment of self-deception that had led them down Elias's deceptive path. There were tears, heated arguments, and long, silent nights, but slowly, painstakingly, the lines of communication reopened. The partner, witnessing Alex's genuine remorse and unwavering commitment to making amends, began to soften, offering tentative forgiveness. The focus shifted from blame to shared struggle, from individual despair to collective resilience. They found strength in their unity, understanding that the family's well-being was paramount, a foundation that had to be painstakingly reconstructed. As Alex poured energy into both the legal fight and the domestic healing, the news finally broke. Elias, once a shadowy figure pulling strings from afar, was exposed. The careful facade crumbled under the weight of mounting evidence and the relentless pursuit by Alex and the other victims. News articles detailed his fraudulent schemes, legal actions were initiated, and public condemnation rained down upon him. Alex played a pivotal role in bringing Elias down, providing crucial evidence that solidified the case against him. The moment of Elias's public downfall was bittersweet. Justice was served, a hollow victory in the face of the lingering scars, but a victory nonetheless. The financial losses remained, a stark reminder of the deception, but the emotional burden of unaddressed injustice began to lift. Though financially set back, Alex emerged from the ordeal profoundly changed. The experience, though devastating, had imparted invaluable life lessons about discernment, about the seductive allure of quick riches, and about the true meaning of resilience. A new, more grounded approach to financial stability began to take root, built not on speculative promises, but on hard work, integrity, and sustainable effort. The relationship with their partner and child, forged in the crucible of adversity, was now stronger, more honest, and bound by an unshakable understanding. Alex, once a victim, now became a beacon of hope for others. They began to share their story, not as a lament, but as a cautionary tale, a powerful warning against similar scams. The true strategy that works, Alex realized, was not found in any online course or guru's pronouncements. It was in perseverance, in the unwavering commitment to integrity, in the genuine effort invested in every endeavor. It was in the courage to admit mistakes, the humility to seek forgiveness, and the strength to rebuild. Alex found true success not in the illusory promise of quick money, but in the profound satisfaction of rebuilding a life, learning from painful lessons, and helping others avoid the same fate. A deeper sense of peace and fulfillment, earned through immense struggle and enduring resilience, finally settled upon Alex, a testament to the human spirit's capacity for redemption.